Photography at night can always add an edge and mood to what you're capturing. Taking portrait photos at night is no different. You can amp up somebody's headshot by doing a night photo shoot with some of the neatest and most natural backdrops. The only downside to this is the thought that taking photos at night is tricky. And yes, it can be, but it doesn't have to be. What is up, my fellow night owls and late nighters? Raph here from B&C Camera. Live in a town with a nightlife as lively as ours? Or do you simply want to take extravagant portrait photos with the evening as your backdrop? Well, keep it locked, as we'll be going over some of the general basic tips to help step up your nighttime shooting game. Alrighty, first big and obvious step, stay away from the automatic mode. When using automatic mode at night, a few things could happen. The flash will reduce the shutter speed that will cause some detail from the background to get lost. You'll end up just having a bright subject with just a plain black background. Not that interesting. Turning the flash off will result in a blurred photo, and a blurred photo isn't anything pleasing to look at. Alrighty, next up, consider night mode. Look at your mode dial. You should spot a night scene mode. When using the night mode, you will get a long exposure with the flash. Using this option is great for beginners, and although it's a good idea to try it at first, if you're able to shoot manually, then that's the way to go. Alrighty, make sure to keep things steady. Use a tripod to keep your camera steady. Any movement, even the slightest, can create a blurred photo. Even your subject will need to work with you and stay still. Keep everything under control with manual mode. The best option is shooting strictly in manual mode. Doing this will allow you to have more control over the shutter speed and aperture. You can use an external flash to help bring some light to your subject when doing this. Purchase a light stand to help prop your light up while focusing on your subject. Think about how you want to focus on your subject and how you want the background to look. When using a wider aperture like an f2.8, your background will blur and be out of focus. Your subject will still be clear with the shorter shutter speed. Next, you'll need to set your ISO and shutter speed. Aim for an ISO from 400 to 800. Your shutter speed should be below 1/200th of a second. Play around with your flash to see which light setting you should be using. Try moving your external flash to different locations as well. Something as simple as moving where the light hits can dramatically change your portrait photo. Also consider the lenses that you'll be using for the shoot. Prime lenses are the best way to let in as much light as possible. Alrighty, have some fun with the background of your photos. Look for unique scenery to make your photos pop. Here are but a few examples. Things such as streetlights, neat buildings, bridges, bustling streets with traffic and headlights, Christmas lights or string lights, and a starry sky. Now of course you can use another light source. If you plan on using a different light source than your flash, you'll need to follow a few steps. Make sure you use a higher ISO, set your exposure, and bring on the light. Think about investing in some flash modifiers. This will enhance your flash. You can opt for umbrellas, softboxes, gels, grids, and more. Lastly, keep the edge. Keep in mind night portraits will usually have an edgy look. Style your subject to match that aesthetic. Get creative with your subject's clothes and makeup. If you're going for something more professional, you can still create a chic look through night portraits. Night photography can seem overwhelming and intimidating. Don't be scared to try something new. As long as you keep the tips and tricks we had mentioned in this video in mind, you're sure to capture stellar and breathtaking photographs. If we had missed anything or you have anything to add, be sure to let us know in the comment section. If you found the video insightful, a like and subscribe would help our channel out immensely. Thanks again for tuning in. Raph from B&C Camera, signing off.